Welcome to this video, everybody. If you're a property developer, then you've came to the right place. Or if you're looking how to make as much money as possible in the Dubai market, then you've also came to the right place. Guys, my name is Butler. I'm an investment specialist here in Dubai. I help investors from all over the world, from A to Z, whether that's buying off-plan renovating properties. Rest assured, you've got the right person and the right team who can help you out. All what you need to do is book a call below to see how we can help. So let's jump straight into it. Property renovations in Dubai. It's a hot topic and it's also a hot market. So the first obvious question is, why is it such a hot market? Well, if you watch or follow any of the news articles about Dubai, you'll see how many millionaires are residing in Dubai and actually coming over here to live permanently, or at least get their residency and have a second holiday home. And I'll tell you why. For the many obvious reasons, such as the tax, the safety, obviously the ease of residence, and so many other factors, but we're not here to talk about that because I assume you probably already know it. So let's get straight into it. So the first obvious one is, well, where is the most money made? So right now, I get a variety of clients, especially property developers from places like the UK and Europe, asking me, Joe, is it wise of me to maybe buy some land and build on the land? And I say to them very truthfully, of course, buying land in Dubai is very lucrative. You can buy it and build, whether that's a tower, whether that's apartments, or whether that could be villas, whatever it is. However, right now, as I say, the villa communities or townhouse communities are in the most demand. And again, for the many reasons, like families wanting to live over here and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at Dubai as a whole, strategically, the best villa communities were all built first. Some examples: the meadows, the lakes, springs, Emirates Hills, of course, Palm Jumeirah, Jumeirah Islands, Jumeirah Park. All of these are surrounded, around the city, just near the marina. They're built around lakes, they're built around very green areas. And of course, they've been well established for a long time, making them a very desirable place to live because there's loads of greenery, loads of nature, all of those obvious things. But what you need to understand as well is that these were built around 10, 12, 15 years ago. So as you can imagine, they're the old, potentially Arabic style or some of the old European style. And well, they're not that favorable to live in anymore. So obviously, there's a big market now to come in and refresh these properties. This is actually one of the first cycles that we've seen it happen in Dubai. For a long time, this was not really a thing to renovate properties and make money and flip, but we're starting off in a cycle now where we're starting to see the old stuff get renovated, which is very exciting, and it's a big opportunity to make money. Now, there are obvious areas like the Palm Jumeirah, Jumeirah Islands, where people have been taking full advantage of this, and we've seen some incredible developments happen in the last sort of 2 years, and it's very exciting to see, and obviously a lot of investors have made a lot of money. But the question is it better to buy land or is it better to buy a villa? In my opinion, if you're starting off as an investor looking to do development, I would personally go for an older style villa. Depending on your budget will depend on the location, and that's something we can get into depth with on the call. But just to give you an idea, somewhere like Jumeirah Park or somewhere like Springs is kind of the starting point to entry. I wouldn't generally suggest going below sort of 5 million dirhams to purchase your first property, because there are many things to consider, such as the plot size, the size of the built-up area, and obviously the location within these communities is a big thing, because it only takes you to buy a villa that's potentially backing onto some cable lines that could absolutely ruin the deal and put a lot of people off. That's just one example. But anyway, people ask me, should I buy apartments and renovate them? And I say, listen, buying apartments and renovating them, it's like a great thing to do still, but I see the most potential to, for example, JBR, old buildings, going in there, renovating, but then renting out short term. You blow your competition out the water because, quite simply, that area is full of old buildings and they can't physically build anymore, but it's strategically located near the beach. So obviously, if you just go in there, renovate a beautiful apartment, turn it into a 2-bedroom, put it on a holiday home, you're going to benefit greatly from return on investment. And then obviously, if you're thinking about flipping it, again, the margins might be there, but they won't be nowhere near as good as townhouse or villas. So if you are looking at making the bigger money, I highly suggest, rather than going into land to start, or rather than going into apartments to start with a townhouse or start with a villa and get stuck into it that way and learn the process, and then you can diversify. So everyone asks, how does financing work? Can I get financing on the development? Can I get financing on the house? Well, the simple answer is yes. If you're a non-resident looking to make an investment over here, you can get up to 50%, sometimes 60%, but depending on the price of the property, it might even be 40%. So if you're going for the big scale stuff, such as the Palm Jumeirah or Emirates Hills, then you might not be eligible for the full 50%. You may only get 40%. But if you're going for the smaller stuff, you can be eligible for around 50 or 60% financing as a loan, like a mortgage from the bank, as a non-resident. Of course, if you're living here and you're a resident, then you can qualify up to 70 to 50% for this. Now, how hard is it? How long does it take? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Of course, just like any bank would across the world, they do their due diligence, they look at your financials, and they decide. They probably put a profile together, which might take 3 to 4 weeks, maybe up to 6 weeks. But, you know, within 2 months, 3 months, you can expect generally to be approved and hopefully get your money by this point. So meaning you still get 50% financing into buying that property. But do you get money on the redevelopment? No. You are not a developer in Dubai that has ability to go to a bank and ask them for money for the development. Of course, you've got no track records. You can't just walk up to a bank and say, oh, can you give me 2-3 million dirhams to renovate this property? They'll just say no. So that bit becomes cash, obviously. All right. So people say to me, well, obviously it's going to be a big investment. Well, like I say this, your return on equity, if you're getting 50% financing from the bank plus the renovation cost, you'll be surprised how much money is actually being able to make once you take into consideration that you're going to be lending half the money anyway. And then actually the settling fee, because I believe in the UK there's quite a large resettlement fee if you want to pay your mortgage back early. Well, in Dubai, sometimes it's waived. I mean, sometimes the banks just say, no, it's cool, don't worry. Sometimes it's around 10,000 dirhams. I'm speaking on behalf of one of the banks we've contacted before. This is not for all of them, so it might be different, but generally it's quite cheap. Okay, so renovations and who to use and how much does it cost? Well, luckily I could name 5 or 6 renovation companies, pricing all different price points depending on what you're doing and how big of a scale you want to go to. But this is where you come to us, where we can really get into depth, actually explain exactly what to do, because, you know, it's impossible for me to just sit here and just label everything without actually getting an idea of what you want to do. But the idea is that there are definitely renovation companies from sort of medium level to high level. I never go cheap. I never advise clients to go cheap. We call it a lipstick job. Lipstick job. We don't do that because a lick of paint does not go far. You want to be making sure that you're somewhere between the middle and high, depending on the scale of what you want to create. Generally, we see prices between 200 and 300 dirhams per square foot. Of course, that will change depending on the stuff you want to put in there. Travertine, marble, Gaggenau appliances, all of these things are to consider. And, you know, for some villas and opportunities, we advise that you do go for this higher spec in order to maximize the resale value. Then in other areas, we don't recommend it just because the resale value may never hit that point and you could struggle to resell it at the premium you want it because you put all of your cash into making sure it's extra special. Like I said, this is where we come in. You're strategic partners, okay? And how long is the turnaround time? Well, this really depends. Generally, we see villas between 3 and 4 bedrooms, let's say on a 4,500 square foot plot, maybe around 3,500 square foot built up area. We can see between 4 to 6 months to actually renovate this, landscape it, put a pool in there. And then of course, you've got your resale time as well. Sometimes we can resell it within the first month, but we allow, say, sort of 6 to 8 weeks to resell, especially if you're trying to sell it as a premium property. We need to allow time to market the property, do the viewings, and so forth. But generally, for the renovation time on the smaller scale stuff, we see between 4 and 6 months. You know, sometimes we've seen it done in 3 months, but I like to think you don't want to get it rushed. But also, we don't expect it to take 1 or 2 years for the smaller stuff because that would be ridiculous and you've probably used the wrong renovation company. But then of course, for the bigger scale stuff, and when I talk about the 25,000 square foot plots in Emirates Hills, yeah, it's going to take a lot longer. But remember, we're not going to be completely demolishing these villas and rebuilding them. We're just going to be ripping them out to the shell and core. Now, obviously, we've got a bunch of proposals lined up for different opportunities on the market. So if you are interested, that's again why you're going to book the call. So like I said, the time it takes, not generally too long, and you'll be surprised how fast we can resell it at the right price to the right person looking for that right villa. Again, this is something that we're going to work with you about and actually making sure we're creating villas that are not too unique where they just suit one type of person, but where they're like generic, modern, but amazing and family friendly. All of these things are to consider when renovating the villas in the Dubai market. And there are 2 more things I want to talk today, and it's about creating a formation company around the renovation, because a lot of my clients are looking at going into joint ventures with various clients around the world, and it's 100% possible. Now, again, as I say in every video, I am not the expert in setting up companies. I have my amazing colleagues that can do this for you. Generally, we can set up formations and companies and apply shareholders within these companies so that everyone is allocated their equal shares depending on their investment. So it's 100% possible. Again, if you want more information about that, that is something that you can talk to us about and we can put you in touch with the right people. And then the last one, can the properties be bought through cryptocurrency? Because, you know, crypto is, again, a big thing and a lot of people are wanting to sort of diversify from their crypto portfolios. The answer is, in simple, yes, but it's not straightforward just sending the owner of the property a couple of Bitcoin. It's going to be a bit of a process where you'll use one of our companies in-house, which is going to be classed as a third party, and they are going to use their crypto wallet to transfer the money into cash, which will be then generated into a manager's check. It's not too complicated and you can be here for 100% of the process, just in case you feel uneasy about just sending crypto to a wallet, which I would be as well. So that's why I advise, if you are doing that, come to Dubai, meet us, meet the team, and do it all in person, because because then rest assured, you'll feel a lot safer. So if you are interested in understanding from A to Z how you can renovate properties in Dubai and make upwards of minimum 25% up to 100%, all right? That's being optimistic, but on certain projects, we've seen it happen. But realistically, you can definitely make between 20 and 30% with your first property investment flip in the villa and townhouse communities, all right? So if you need any information, I'm here, I'm ready. We're gonna help you from A to Z. Book a call and we'll see you there.